Hello everyone, it's me. I'm Julie McDowell and I'm so excited because the sponsor this month on the tips page is Annie Hoffman of Maison Blanche Paint Company. And yesterday, Annie and I sat down and had a cup of tea together, and this is what we talked about. Annie, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
You're so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
I love your hair.
Well, in Texas, everyone has long blonde hair, so.
Do they? Is that
Texas
true?
It's a stereotype, but.
Oh, well in that case you've got to cut it short and dye it orange then, haven't you? You want to stand out from the crowd. Okay, so we've really enjoying having you sponsor the page this month. And I love it because so many people say, I've never heard of Maison Blanche. And then suddenly they're all rushing over to the website and looking. Yeah. And your colours are fantastic. I just love your paint so much. I've never lifted such a heavy can of paint, ever. What is in it?
Very high chalk content.
Right.
About 30-something% of the dry ingredients are chalk. So that's where that heaviness is coming from.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and also the tints have a lot of natural pigment in them. So that creates heaviness. You'll notice that some cans are heavier than others, and that's due to the amount of natural pigments that we put in the paint.
Okay. All right. Well, I've got a list of questions here that I'm just going to run through with you. But my burning question for you is, why the White House? Do you have aspirations to be president or something?
No, you couldn't pay me to do that. No. I was a house painter before this, and I love colors. And so when I'd walk into a white house, I wanted to do the walls, I wanted to do the floors, I wanted to paint the ceiling. Right. So to me, a white house is a blank canvas, just waiting.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I like that idea and the story. And obviously there's a huge French connection with your business, with all the names of the paints and Maison Blanche being French words. So can you tell us why that is? Because that's pretty unique.
Absolutely. My mother's first language is French, and my grandmother, they came over from Canada and settled in the swamps of South Louisiana.
Really?
And the culture is just, I grew up in South Louisiana with the Cajun, the Creole, and all of these color names mean something to me.
Okay.
Everything from hurricane and magnolias and even Franciscan gray. My brother's a Catholic priest, a Franciscan one that wears the gray vestments and the beard, and I love the color gray of his robes. So I said, you've got to come over here so I can match that gray.
Wow.
So I miss Louisiana, and I love that culture, and I wanted to incorporate that feel into the paint line.
Okay, so you're obviously bilingual then. If your mother was
No, I'm not. I stand it when she's saying something naughty about me, like like one day my grandmother I had my little baby boy. He was an infant, and she said, "Oh, tikrat," and I thought, that sounds nice. What does that mean? Well, it means little turd. Oh. So I can only understand those things.
So you weren't raised to speak French then with your mom?
No, although it's very
English.
Yeah, I only spoke English. Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. But it's a very different French, though, isn't it? I mean, like
it really is.
Quebecois is a very different French to native French speakers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, that's great. And I love all the names, and I love all the mispronunciations of the names as well. People struggle with that, but it makes them more unique, I think, than just kind of barn red. You have l'orange.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. So, Annie, let's go back a little bit. So, how long have you actually been operating Maison Blanche Paint Company?
We started at the beginning of 2012, so about 5 years now.
Okay. Is that really 5 years ago? I was going to say, oh gosh, that's not very long, but it is, I suppose, isn't it?
Time flies. It seems sometimes it seems like just yesterday.
I'm sure. And what was the process then? Had you always wanted to own a paint company?
No, I didn't. No. Well, my parents were both artists, and so there were paint brushes and paint cans all over the dining room table, the kitchen at all times. So instead of having
like
regular toys, yes, I had these paints to play with, and my mom, I remember she would teach oil painting classes, and I'd be sitting in the back of the room watching, me and my brother, and I was absorbing. They didn't know I was. I didn't know I was, but I was absorbing all this whole skill set. And so I decided I wanted to go into corporate America, and I did, and because I wasn't going to be like those artists owning their own businesses. And so I went to corporate America. I was making really great money, but it was very stressful. I didn't have time for my kids. I drop my daughter off at daycare at 6:30 in the morning, pick her up barely at 6:30, dump them in the tub, feed, and put them to bed.
Right.
And it was just, I felt like I wasn't being a good mom. Mm-hmm. And so I started painting houses. I thought, what's something else I know how to do? And I thought, I can paint murals. You know, I know how to paint. My mom and dad, they taught me how. And so I started. You can't
just decide you're going to paint a mural. Not everybody can do that. Really?
Well, I had that skill set. And then I got a paint contracting company that was successful, very successful. I was written up in this big magazine. And my little paint company just grew and grew because I was doing these specialty techniques. And so it's funny how I went from corporate America, miserable, not enough time for my kids. I didn't feel fulfilled, to something where I didn't make as much money, but I was so happy and so fulfilled. And that led to me opening up a paint store and teaching other paint contractors how to do what I was doing.
Okay.
All my fancy techniques, and then my own line of paint. So it's just doors kept opening, and I just kept.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So was that like faux finishes that you were doing? Okay.
Yes, very, very exclusive for the rich and famous.
But you can't just know that, Annie. I mean, you can't just have that knowledge. Did you have to go somewhere and quickly learn some techniques?
I did. I had to learn quickly how to use a trowel, how to do something. But then from there, it's funny. I mentioned the Ostrich Technique. One guy wanted his walls in his billiards room to look just like his ostrich boots. And so I have these plastic boards that I play with. I'm going to see if I have one. A polystyrene is a piece of plastic that I paint, and then I create the finish, and I show it to him, and do you like this? He said, I love it. It feels just like it. It looks just like it. It had the bumps, everything. And so I go to do it on his walls, and I wasn't thinking, but the plaster walls dry faster than the plastic does. So as I'm doing it, it looks awful. I get through one wall, and I said, let's just paint over it so he doesn't see the mess. Right. And I went home that night, and I thought, where can I practice? Where can I figure out how to do this? So in my kitchen, on my walls, I started doing patches. And I got it down, but my kitchen was a mess after that.
Oh my goodness me. So you got away with that.
I did.
That is so funny. So you had that very successful faux finishing business. You're teaching other people how to do these amazing finishes that you're inventing in your kitchen, and then you decide you're going to launch your own paint line. Is that the series of events? Okay, so what does that entail then? Did you just start up on your own, or did you buy some premises and start that way?
I already had a little spot where I had a store selling paints and little teaching studio in a small warehouse. So I didn't have much money at the time. I had a little bit of savings, about $7,000.
Right.
And I invested it all. And I didn't know, is anybody going to buy this paint? Is it going to sit and just get dusty on my shelves in my warehouse? I had no idea. And it was just a gamble. And it was way back in 2012. And I remember that first batch of pigments and things showing up, and just being nervous but excited at the same time.
I can imagine.
So I first started with 28 colors of paint and four shades of wax.
Right.
And we've expanded to have 58 colors of paint, 10 plus colors of wax, all these top coats, textures.
Oh, I know. This is what I love about your range. I forget the paint. I mean, I love all the colors, but then you get into all these boucle and the stardust and all these other and the lime finish that you have as well, and that is just amazing to me. The boucle is incredible. It is just so different, and you've seen the video that I did on your boucle. I mean, it just looks like cottage cheese in a jar. That when you open it, you get the shock of your life, but oh my goodness, does it go on in a different way? It's incredible.
Yes, that's what I'm pulling from my faux finishing background here.
I can see that.
The challenge is that there's so many things that I want to put out there on the market, but it has to be presented in a way to where anyone can understand how to use it.
Yes.
And most simple form.
Yeah,
so
and you can't give people lots of steps to do, because that's just not going to work. But the boucle just does itself. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah. congratulations on that, because I think it's a really, really unique product to have on the market.
Thank
Great.
you.
So you started on your own, and you probably had family helping and packaging and getting people to sell your paint. So how many people do you have working for you now?
Anywhere between 10 and 15, sometimes 20 during the peak seasons. We use a lot of temps to expand and contract because there are busy seasons and then there are not so busy seasons as we've seen year over year. Yeah. So,
did you then, you obviously had to move to larger premises, did you?
This is our third move.
Wow.
And we're already running out of space.
Are you?
Yeah, it's a really big facility. I'm in the front here right now, and if I get a chance, I'll show you my pink forklift in the back. You can tell it's a female-owned business. We have peanuts, pink forklifts, pink pallet jacks.
I like that. So, how many retailers do you have now, and how do you go about getting new retailers? Do you have reps out there working for you?
No. All of our growth has been just organic, word of mouth. We don't have a sales team per se. We just, we look for stores that kind of match with the vibe.
Okay.
And we are so lucky that we've got the most amazing group of retailers that are so giving and sharing, and they'll refer their friends to become retailers, and just it feels like a family.
Like family. Oh, that's a lovely idea. And so you have retailers just in the United States right now, is that right?
Yeah, now. But I'm looking at national retailers. So
yes. I know that you're hoping for some Canadian ones, and then is the plan to go even further to expand? Yeah.
Right now we're shipping to other countries, but I'd love to have stockists there in other countries.
Oh, so you are shipping to other countries. I didn't realize that. Oh, that's interesting. But shipping is just a nightmare in my world anyway, so I'm sure it is in yours as well. Yeah, it's an expensive business. So what's next then, Annie? Where do you go? Have you got some more product lines coming out?
Always. I always have things coming, and it's just tricky because I don't want to bombard and overwhelm everyone at once. I pay close attention to trends, not just staying on top of trends, but even influencing the trends.
Right.
At any given time, we've got so many different things in the works.
Good. Because, I know because I've spoken to you before that you really love the chemistry side of all this paint too, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I science behind it. I love the business aspect of it, and then I get to scratch my creative bone too. So
it's amazing that you love all that, because that just goes completely over my head. I just dabble and mix and play and hopefully come up with good results. So your color chart, you said you've got 50 something colors now. So how does that work? Do you take some off? Do you put some on? You must have an idea of what's trending and what's not.
Yes, and when I first started with my 28 colors, most of them were blue, because blue is my favorite color.
Okay, it would be mine as well. I would be blue.
I know, I just
and red.
Blue. And people were like, you've got too many blues, and so little by little I added more. I have not taken away any, because some of our slowest sellers are like debutante, which is a soft pink.
Okay.
Well, as sure as I take it off, somebody's going to say, hey, how come you don't have a soft pink? So we've only added. Our color chart right now contains, I think, 42 colors on it, and now we have 58. So I'm going to, the new colors that we've introduced, we're going to see how they go over the next year, and if they're not selling, we'll probably pull them off. But if they're sellers, we'll probably leave them.
Yeah, your new colors I think are fantastic. I just love them. But I love deep saturated colors, and that's what I think of when I think of Maison Blanche. And your wax is amazing. I am not a waxer at all. I don't understand it. I'm the first to admit that. I don't get it. It's too much like hard work for me, or at least it had been until I tried your wax. But there's something pretty unique about it. You can just leave it, can't you, and come back to it hours later.
That's correct. Yeah, you have to put a clear wax first before using the colored waxes, because it doesn't bite.
No.
And you can use a cheap 50-cent brush to put it on with, or a rag, and walk away and come back 3 hours later and buff it. And
yeah, and that's what I love, because I used to get in such a state with other waxes that I've tried, because I'm such a scatterbrain. I'm always doing 20 things at once, and then I would completely ruin something because I'd left the wax on and hadn't buffed it because I'd missed my window of opportunity. So that your wax works perfectly for me. So that's great. And thank you so much this week for those 10 people that have very wonderfully won your beautiful paint and wax. They were all so excited.
I'm excited to get it in their hands too. I can't wait to see what
they do.
I know,
because I think once people feel that, and especially if they're new painters, that's what you want. You want to give them something special to them, and you've got them then. You've got them. You've got that captive audience, I think.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's great. So how do you manage your home family, your business family balance now? Is it better?
I think so. I mean, again, female-owned business, so our hours are 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. There's no late nights, no weekends, because family comes first, and that was a lesson for me to learn. But if my kids are sick now, instead of whereas corporate America, do I miss a day? What do I do now?
Terrible.
I just bring them home, bring them to work with me.
To work. Sit under the table.
Here's a pillow. Here's an iPad. Or work from home, so it's nice, and everyone here, all of my employees have that same sort of feel. I mean, they know that family comes first, and we work around that.
And do your children have this artistic talent that you have?
They do. I've got 4 kids. My oldest is 18 and my youngest is 6, and they are all amazing artists.
Are they? Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Your parents must be thrilled. Absolutely thrilled. Yeah, it's nice that family gene has been passed on down.
Yes, that and I like that they get to see mom balancing a family and work life, that you can do both.
You can do both, yes. Yeah.
It's important for my daughters to see that, and it's important for my sons to see that as well.
Yes, it is. Annie, thank you so much for having a cup of tea with me today and a good old natter. I think we've learned quite a lot about you, and it's been great fun. And I really hope we can do this again soon. Bye.